Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Little Shop of Nerds. I'm Julia,
Mike, what's up, y'all?
and so this week I'm actually kind of excited to do because of the content, and you will realize it. So you want to give them, you'll realize what it is once we start talking about it. So you want to give the hint?
All right, this week's hint was Kick-Ass.
Yeah, so we are going to be talking about the top 10 kick-ass animated female characters.
Yes, we wanted to do this for a while. Now we're going to do it. And yet you're going to be saying, why are you not doing it on National Women's Day? I'm like, that's like the next year away, and we're too busy to get it out there. So whenever it comes, you can listen to it on that day. But for now, try to listen to it now. And we're going to we're not just doing from Disney. We're also doing maybe some Cartoon Network, some anime, whatever floats the boat. And we will have some honorable mentions.
Yeah. So our first one, we're going from 10 and up. So number 10, we have the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, if you guys grew up during the early 2000s, or like I did, I was born in the 90s through the 2000s. This was actually a funny Cartoon Network cartoon. It's about three girls who are in, kindergarten?
I think so, yeah.
And
they are made from sugar and spice and everything nice with a dash of chemical X.
Yeah, and this is how the intro goes. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. This was the ingredient for the perfect little girl, but Professor Plutonium accidentally added extra ingredient in the concoction.
Chemical X.
Those the Powerpuff Girls was born.
Yeah, so you have Blossom, Buttercup, and Bubbles.
And you're going to wonder how you guys tell them apart. One, Bubbles, where is blonde hair, where's blue, a little bubbly. Voiced by Tara Strong, which you might know her from the Powerpuff Girls,
Didn't she play Tara in Teen Titans?
I think so. No, she played Raven. She could have played Tara.
Okay.
She played Raven. She also played Timmy Turner from Very Odd Parents and a little bit of Harley Quinn in the games. And yeah, she's like the top-notch voice actor that people have. And you got,
I think she's even done some anime as well.
I think so. And we also got Blossom, who's the leader. She's the smart one. She wears pink, has a bow.
Her hair is like a brown, pinkish color.
And you got Buttercup, like a tomboy, wears green, like Nick Green, and
has black hair.
Pretty much.
Short black hair.
And she's just like the muscle or the tough one. Doesn't care about shit.
I've always liked Buttercup.
Yes, and pretty much they're superheroes. They got any superpowers you can think of. They pretty much go around fighting people, fighting bad guys, monsters, whatever the daily episode it was. They would have two little episodes in one episode, kind of like 11 minutes for both of them.
Yeah, something like that.
And the villains were Mojo Jojo, him, what looks like
I loved him.
he had that creepiest weird voice, and yet he actually looks like a devil with lobster claws. He goes, oh yeah. I'm like, as a kid you didn't think of it, but now it's like, why does his voice sounds like a pedophile?
Yeah. Him was one of my favorites. And then they had another one. He was a bear, and I cannot remember his name.
Wait. No, I think was he a hillbilly?
I think so. Yeah.
Was Fuzzy Lumpkins. I don't think he was a bear.
I was about to say Fuzzy Wuzzy. Yeah. I knew it was Fuzzy something. Fuzzy Lumpkins.
Yes, Fuzzy Lumpkins, and there's there's Sedusa.
There's also Princess.
She was a spoiled rich brat.
Yeah, and she wanted to be part of the Powerpuff Girls.
And you got pretty much the whole.
And then there was these three boys called the
Gangrene Gang. Oh no, wait, the Babiba Boys. They look like germs and stuff.
No, not them. It was three boys and they were like basically the counterparts of the girls.
Oh,
a lot of people ship them together.
oh yeah. I'm trying to think. What was it called? Hang on, let me look at it.
Like, cause I remember them. I think one was called Butch, and he was like the counterpart of Blossom. Then you also had like another one that was
Here it is.
the Rowdy Rough Boys.
Yeah, but pretty much what was it? It was the different color scheme. One was a darker blue, one was red, one was dark green. But yeah, they always ship them. But then again, someone always think Buttercup was going to be like a lesbian.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they're kids, so let's.
Yeah, let's keep that.
Like, if you want to make an adult, like say when they're grown up, then you can do that. But right now, they're kids. Let's just. And before you say,
I mean, not all tomboys grow up to be lesbians.
No, that's true, but
Yeah.
but we don't get flagged by the LBGTQ. We don't want to be like we're trying to hate on them. No, they're kids. They don't know their sexuality yet. So let's just put it as that.
They just want to save the world right now.
Yes, and I think this is why we want to do this. Is because one, they're kids, they're girls, but they're also taking stuff up in the man's world. They're also like hell. Like there was even one villain that was a feminist and got into their minds that all men were evil, and somehow was it Miss Bellum, the mayor's secretary, which you don't see her face by the way.
You never see her face. You just see her from the neck down, and she has big boobs.
Yeah, But yes, and she kind of just tells it what it is. She's like, I'm a feminist too, but you also got to learn some stuff too when you got to deal with this crap.
Yeah.
Meaning, it's good to be, standing up what your rights, but it's also got to realize don't let people try to manipulate you so they can get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yes, besides that, there was also people always made fun of one episode. Bubbles was being made fun of because she was so cute. Think she's helpless, but realize she can actually do it without her sisters or anyone. You got Buttercup. She's always doesn't think, but realize, hey, I gotta do this so I don't be an idiot. And Blossom, she's smart, but she also realized you gotta go with the vibe, have fun once in a while, and also realize, hey, people make mistakes. It happens. You can't always be the one to solve it.
Yeah.
And pretty much, yeah, they do all that stuff. So I give them a good rating.
Okay. Next, at number 9, is Esmeralda from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yes. Now, this is a great character that we have in the whole Disney movie.
Yeah, we have talked about her in the Hunchback of Notre Dame video that we did a couple months ago. We are just focusing on Esmeralda from the Disney movie and not so much as the Esmeralda from the book, because the Esmeralda from the book is a little, I don't know a whole lot about her.
Let's just say she dies at the end.
Yeah, so we're just gonna go with the Disney Esmeralda. She does try to help Quasimodo. She tries to help the other, Roma people, her people. Just trying to basically survive.
Yes, and she could have took up Florlo's offer not to die, but she's like, fuck that, I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Spit in his face.
Yeah. So, there's not really a whole lot that we can really say about her.
But she
is a strong female character that we both actually really like.
Yes, and she realized she can hold her own against a guy, especially when she was fighting with Phoebus.
Yeah.
Then again, he also found her weakness too. So.
Yeah.
But then again, he is a soldier.
Yeah.
But besides that, she's a strong-headed woman, care for her people and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, at number 8, we have Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
Okay, now, before you get all high and mighty, I did not care for Attack on Titan. But I will have to say, she is one of the badass characters from the whole movie. She's got strength. And 2, all the stuff you can tell she was made to kill Titans because all the flips, the cutting she ever did, but also showing her emotion why she needs to protect Eren, why she needs to be with him, because it happened when she got kidnapped as a child, and he protected her, and she wants to protect him now.
Now, I haven't seen all of Attack on Titan. I've seen a little bit of the first season when it was first released, way back when on Adult Swim. Now that the series is done, I will go through and I will watch it from beginning to end.
It gets complicated.
And then we will probably do a review on it later.
Yeah, but when it got further, it got really confusing. Somehow they can... I won't tell it, but...
Yeah, we'll talk about that when our video comes up.
But besides that, she is pretty much a badass. Because every time I look at, like, I see a lot of female anime characters. Some of them do hold their own, some don't. You got some that are just complete useless. And by that, I mean Aqua.
From Konosuba.
How the hell did she become a fucking goddess?
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
But still, she's, like, freaking useless.
I mean, there's a lot of useless female characters.
Hell, even if I mention Bulma, people get pissed at me because she's like, well, she's a genius. She builds... I'm like, she's useless during the fight, and she complains a lot. So, what do you think about that?
I mean, well, I think Sakura Haruno from Naruto is useless.
She is useless.
But we'll talk about that later. So, but yeah, so let's just go ahead and we'll move on to number 7.
All right, number 7.
We have Tiana from The Princess and the Frog.
Now, this, in my opinion, this movie got really underrated for some people.
I mean, to be honest, I really didn't care much for it.
Well, okay, that's your honest opinion.
I mean, I don't know. I think at that point, I was just kind of over, like, the whole Disney princess type thing.
I think, yeah, I get that, but here's the thing. If you look at, I don't know how many more cartoon animation that Disney did, but I feel like this was like the actual last hand-drawn kind of Disney animation, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I feel the same way.
Because think, and the one thing I like about her, her daddy taught her, and my dad taught me this, I bet you your family taught you this and everything. Like, they mentioned, like, you can wish for it, but you also got to make it, you got to work for it along the way. Telling her, hey, and people's like, well, that's a downer for a kid. No, it's true. If you want your wish to come true, you got to work for it.
You have to work for it, yeah. And
you could tell she was the example of a woman who wants to follow her dream, but also had to work with it. She worked. She's a fantastic cook. I wish I was there to eat that cooking. But she had to take night jobs, day jobs. She was hardly getting any sleep so she can open up her own restaurant.
So she was very resourceful.
She knew how to, like, hell, you can look at when she even had the money for the place, but the banker was like, oh no, someone already, but I'm like, you told her she can have it, and she told you she had the money. They're like, nope. And they're like, oh, because you're a woman. And that's why I'm like, yeah, what do you expect, the 1920s in Louisiana, and but besides that, you know, you got Levine, was it Levine? Prince Levine?
Naveen, I think it was.
Pretty much useless.
Yeah.
Pretty much useless. Hell, she pretty much, when she knew how to escape from disaster, she knew, like, how to cook while they're in their fog form. She knew, like, there was even Mama Odie comes saying, you know, like, it's like, you know what you're missing, child? And she's like, I better work twice as hard to open my restaurant. I'm like, missed the boat. That's all of us, though. But still, I think she realized, oh, you know, I need to take time for myself, but also learn from other people that they also have problems. Showing them that, hey, you know, I fucked up. Let's And she gets her own restaurant and realizes it pays at the end to work hard.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, this movie should have got a little more love.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
And
a lot of people do love The Princess and the Frog.
I know, but there's a lot of people who don't. But there's still, I wish it got a little more love, maybe more of a following. But oh well, if it didn't, it didn't. But in my opinion, it's a good movie, and hell, a lot of funny. Even from Ray, the little light bug? He's like, I'm Cajun, girl, and he's voiced by Jim Cummings.
Jim Cummings.
And he's like, don't make me light my butt.
Jim Cummings does a lot of great voices.
Yeah, it turns out he was the voice of Cat from Cat and Dog.
I knew that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But besides that, he
also took over for Scar when the original voice actor, when his voice, something happened with his voice when he was singing Scar's song.
Yeah, he couldn't sing that high note that he couldn't do, so they used Jim Cummings to finish that.
And you can hardly tell
the difference.
Yeah.
And he also voiced Pete,
from
Goofy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, we need to do a review on the Goofy movie.
We're getting off track, Mike.
Either way, yes, I would give her an excellent. She really did kick ass. She helped fight back and realized what she was missing, and so far I give her a 10 out of 10.
I mean, she does. We're rating them now.
No, I'm joking. I'm a bad joker.
I mean, we are.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
we have them rated. We have a list, Mike.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay, so next we have Nezuko from Demon Slayer.
Oh yes.
So with Nezuko, she has become strong because she was turned into a demon by Muzan Jackson. So you scared Chewie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chewie.
Yeah, my dog is in here with us, and he scared my dog.
Poor Chewie.
So yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
she is. I mean, as a demon, she can regenerate her limbs, and she's got, she's strong and stuff. And I mean, we've talked about Nezuko before in the other videos that we've done on Demon Slayer. And I mean, and then she did end up at the end of the 3rd season, the Swordsmith Village arc. She did end up conquering the sun. So, I mean, there's really not a whole lot we can really say about Nezuko that we haven't already said in previous videos.
So, yeah, if you want to know more about her, just go through our previous videos. And, like I said, we didn't want to spend too much on her because we already know how badass she is.
Yeah. So, number 5, we have Riza Hawkeye from Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, this girl knows how to shoot a gun, and she's really good at it.
Yes.
She is in the military, and she's kind of like the assistant to Roy Mustang.
Yes.
And
she kind of has a thing for him, I think.
They both have a thing for each other.
It's like, they just try to play it off like people don't know that, but they're like, bro, we know.
The ship for them is so, out there. Almost everybody ships Riza with Roy. And it's just, a well-known ship. Everybody does it. Almost everybody loves it.
Yeah.
But she also, I mean, we'll probably do a video on Full Metal Alchemist later.
Yes.
She does have her father's research on her back for flame alchemy, and that's she had Mustang after her father died. She had Mustang destroy it. So there is a scene, so she endured that pain.
Oh yeah, and I don't blame her for that because no one should have that kind of power.
Yeah, because she didn't want flame alchemy because it was because then I think it was right after the Ishval War, and the state alchemists went in and basically annihilated Ishval, or annihilated a lot of them, she took part in that as well as a sniper. So I mean, like, yeah, she's basically a war criminal.
Yep.
But she's also a strong woman because she has admitted that, hey, I'm a war criminal. I know I'm a war criminal. I'm doing everything I can to change this world now while I can, before I basically gotta face
the music,
the consequences of my actions.
Yeah, and she does, and she after that the whole thing when Ed lost his powers, and she still became a part of the army or something.
I think she was still part of the army, yeah.
And still with Mustang and pretty much doing the badass she is.
Yeah. So next at number 4 we have Olivia Armstrong.
Oh
from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. She never showed up in Full Metal Alchemist, but she did show up in Brotherhood.
Yes, and I have to say she is the baddest of them all, but she really has her faults. Like she has more respects for her soldiers, her team that she commands. She has more respects of strength, and she pretty much knew how to take people down when what's his name that came to the base.
General Raven.
Yeah, she
killed him.
She pretty much went full out crazy, taking his ass down.
And then they had him after she killed him, she knocked them into concrete, and then she had her men pour more concrete over top of him to hide the evidence that he was dead.
Did she take on Sloth?
Yes, she did. She took on Sloth with her brother, with General Armstrong, Alex. But they took on Sloth, and she also came. I think she came face to face with Bradley.
Oh yeah.
I can't. I don't remember if she came face to face with Bradley or not. I literally just watched those episodes. I'm almost done with the series again. I cannot remember if she came face to face with Bradley, but she definitely did take on Sloth.
Oh yeah.
And then Izumi Curtis came in and she helped out as well, along with Alex and Izumi's husband Sig. But because she runs the Briggs army.
Oh yeah, she has a whole platoon.
They respect her so much.
But here's one thing that comes with her downfall, my little opinion. She's great, she's perfect, but she also has a little problem like we all do. Now, she does not have respect for her brother. But here's the thing. She was commanding a whole army at the Briggs. But here's the thing. He was off at war in his fall. And let's just say he saw the dark side of war that she did.
But she still knows the dark side of war.
Yeah, but that's...
Because she's protecting them from the other country.
Yeah, that's what a commander is supposed to do. But there's times where people in the military... I respect all military vets here, I respect them all. But there's times I even read stuff on veterans, they tell you... They taught you, you need to hide your emotions, but there's times they forget you need to have those emotions when the war is done. Because you don't know, because you could be coming back home, your mind is still in the war and not thinking.
But I will do this. When she came back from Briggs, when she went back to Central, and she started to take over the head of the family, when she started taking over the family, she was doing everything that she did. The way that she acted towards Alex and the way that she acted towards her family.
Yeah.
That was to protect them.
Yeah, that's true too.
Even if she wasn't showing that she was protecting them, and even if she had no emotions while she was doing it, she was still protecting them in her own way.
Yeah.
And I think Alex knew that because he didn't really fight a whole lot when she tried to take over the family.
Yeah.
As the head.
And I agree with you, but at least with Alex, he had the experience of the dark side of.
But she does too.
Yeah, she does, but he shows more the respect of Ward than. I agree she does. I agree she does respect it. But she also had to learn to hide that emotion, though she had to protect people.
The only difference is that he's a state alchemist and she's not.
And then that's the big difference.
And she normally commands from, well, I mean, she goes to the front lines, but she normally just like commands, whereas Alex was actually out there. He was actually
in the shit.
He was helping kill people.
Yeah.
And he really didn't like that. I mean, we'll talk more about it, when we talk about Fullmetal Alchemist. But
we'll get to the opening cost after each. What are we next now?
Okay, so number 3, we have one of my favorites, Moana. From Moana, basically. Which we have Moana 2 coming out in November.
By the way, you're welcome.
I am super excited for Moana 2 to be coming out because I really liked Moana. So, Moana is actually, I think she is considered a Disney princess.
Yes.
She's one of the last, this is actually one of the last Disney, new Disney movies that I have seen. Because, just because Disney comes out with new stuff all the time. And I don't really, I'm not a big fan of Disney as I used to be, but I will definitely be going and seeing Moana 2 when it's released.
Yeah, I might too, but I agree, Disney sucks ass right now.
I mean, we're not talking about how badly Disney sucks. We're talking about, female characters here.
But either way, and you're saying why is she such a badass? One, she wanted to go help her people, so she got off her ass and be like, hey, I'm going to find Maui. Yeah. Peace.
And her father didn't believe her, but her mother did. Which is kind of rare because you don't see a whole lot of Disney movies where the mother and the father are alive.
I know, right?
There are a few where they have both parents, but then there are also a few where they only have one parent, or they don't have any parents. So, for example, Cinderella has her stepmother, who's a bitch, and then you have, Moana, who has both her father and her mother, and they're the chief and chiefess.
Let's just say queen.
They run the tribe that they are from, and but she takes, her father was completely against her going out and doing this because apparently the sea was turning, or the ocean was turning, hostile, I guess, because her island, the island that they lived on, started to die.
Yes, and even her grandmother's like, hey, you need to go do this. And I respect that grandmother, but she also I remember she had that, stingray on her tail.
Yeah.
She says, saying, when I die, I'll be reincarnated as a stingray, I hope. If not, I don't know why I got this tattoo.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's...
So, I mean, the death of her grandmother is what really set her off. Because she found she found Te-Fiti's heart at the beginning of the movie when she was a little girl.
And pretty much... She found Maui,
Maui didn't want to go help her, but he ended up helping her.
And he's played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And we get that freaking good song, but if we keep singing it...
I personally prefer Moana's song.
I really do, but somehow that damn You're Welcome song gets trapped in your head all day.
I actually have a funny story that I heard. So he was watching Moana with his daughter.
Yes.
And he was like, hey, I played Maui. And she's like, no, you didn't, or something like that. And then he started singing along, and she looked at him and told him to shut up because she wanted to watch the movie.
Oh, it's even funnier. He does it again. And he's like, he does singing, he's whispering, and he's like, is Maui Maui? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, wow, that's messed up. But besides that, she She learned sailing from him. She found, was it Tahiti?
She found Tafiti.
Tahiti. And she pretty much saved the island.
Yeah, and then because her people were actually not drifters, but they were they liked to travel basically. Yep. And so that's what her family and her tribe ended up doing after she gave the heart back to Tafiti. They started traveling again. And I think at that point she was actually, the chiefess of the tribe. Because I mean she came back and she was, basically considered a hero.
Yeah.
So that's why she's at number 3. And we will definitely be doing a bigger review of this movie later, probably after Moana 2 comes out, so then we can just do Moana 1 and Moana 2.
Yeah, we can do that. It works. And we're at number 2, which
number 2 is Merida from Brave.
Fuck yes.
I love this movie so much.
To me, this movie should have got more of a praise.
It definitely needs more love.
It did. And hell, I even like the Scottish theme. Finally, we get a Scottish themed Pixar Disney movie here. And besides that, I loved it. The whole story is Merida is pretty much a princess in the Scotland Yards. And her mother is all about tradition. Which I'm like, why? But I get it back then. But her dad pretty much trained her like a tomboy and teach her. She knows archery, sword fighting, riding a horse.
All of that. She's really adept at shooting arrows.
And she was really great. And her mom's like, oh, they get what? A letter from the other families, they want to betroth Meredith, and their father was like, "What?"
Yeah.
But the mother's like, "Oh, goody," and then she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. So Merida didn't want to get married, but her mother was insisting on it because her mother embraces tradition. She wanted Merida to be a proper lady, and Merida didn't really want that. Like, Merida wasn't ready. I don't think she was ready to get married at that point because. I mean, I'm going to assume that she's probably about 16, which, I mean, at the time that this movie is set, I'm not quite sure what year it is, but it does look like it's probably very, very, very early on in, at the beginning of the world, or, whatever. Very, very, maybe 1100s.
Yeah, and
I mean, they got married really young back then.
Yeah, and
she has three triplet brothers who are basically a menace.
And they just pretty much play them as commonly. They don't speak.
Yeah, they play pranks on their one nursemaid constantly and freak her out and stuff like that.
Yeah. Shh, Chewie.
And it's a great movie just because of the fact that she doesn't need a man to save her. She was able to figure everything out on her own, and she was able to, change her mom's mind. So she didn't have to get married. And then her mom started to, even though her mom still embraced tradition, she wasn't as crazy about it.
And we're not going to get there too much, but let's just say she, got a spell from a witch and something happened. We want to save this during a review when we do Brave.
Yeah.
But let's just say at the end she takes down the villain who became a bear, and they decide, hey, she doesn't need to get married.
Gives a whole new meaning to women who choose bear over men. Do you know about that?
I know what a bear is.
No, I mean, there's a meme going around saying that women would rather choose bears over men.
Yeah, but you kind of wonder something. You know how, where the beast turned back into a human, and I get Belle didn't understand what he looked like, but you kind of wonder if she had that little thing,
I mean, I kind of think she she prefer. I mean, we'll talk about that when we do Beauty and the Beast.
I'm just saying.
we will talk about it. I will bring it up then. We should wait until then.
I'm just saying. But okay, before we get to our number one spot,
we have some runner-ups.
1. Elsa from Frozen.
We're not going to talk about them just because, these are just runner-ups. So we got Elsa from Frozen. I'm going to say Sailor Moon from Sailor Moon. Because she is pretty kick-ass. I mean, she does...
Ish.
I mean, she is leader of the Sailor Scouts.
That does most of the work.
How about we just say all of the Sailor Scouts?
Alright.
So we got the Sailor Scouts. Then we've got Mitsuri Konroji from Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
She's pretty badass. I really like her. Like, I didn't really care much for her, but over the years, or over the time that I've watched Demon Slayer, she's become a favorite of mine. Okay, so I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but Sakura Haruno from Naruto. Even though she was useless in Naruto, but in Shippuden, she does become a lot stronger, and she does become a medical ninja. She's still a fucking simp for Sasuke.
Oh yeah.
I said it. She still simps for him. She still simps for him after she has his baby. So,
And
Hinata Hyuga from Naruto as well.
Okay, I'm going to give 2 more. Bulma from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, even though she's useless. I know all you fuckers are going to give me hate on this. She's only good when she's piloting or creating stuff. That's the only thing she's good for. The rest of the shit, she's useless as for fighting, and she always complains. And the last one I think needs to be a Disney one is, I'm trying to think what's Judy Hopps. Though she's badass, she became a cop, though people say she couldn't. But she also got most of the help from Nick, so I'm not going to lie.
Okay, so I actually have one more. She's a video game character, but there's an anime out for it. I'm going to go with Shina Fujibayashi from Tales of Symphonia.
Okay.
She is a ninja. She's a clumsy ninja, but she's a ninja. Kicks ass. My favorite, by far one of my favorite characters from that series. She is definitely, I definitely really liked her.
Alright, I'll do one before we get to number 1, one more. And since you mentioned video game, mine is Evie Fry from Assassin's Creed Syndicate. She
is pretty cool.
She's cool. She's a smart assassin, really stealthy. Depends how you play it. And she's pretty much more smarter than Jacob. Jacob's cool, but he's more of the muscle and the guy with the one-liners.
I mean, I actually played Evie more than I played Jacob. I only played Jacob when I had to.
I switched back and forth.
I only played Jacob when I had to, and I just stuck with Evie for, most of the time.
I had to go back and forth so I can level them up, so that's why.
Yeah. So, okay. So now we're going to go to the number 1. Number 1 is Mulan from Mulan. And y'all are probably wondering, well, why did you put Mulan up at number 1? Because she fucking saved China, okay?
Fuck yes, she saved China.
She did end up with a man at the end, but that was like an end game type of thing. Her main purpose was to save her father, so her father didn't have to go to war, and she ended up becoming one of the best that they had.
Yeah, and she learned the sword fight. She learned how to climb, run like a man. She acted like a man so very well. Even the guys were... But again, this also proves how we're really dumb. We don't know shit. Be like, we will not notice. Like, say, if a woman gets her hair cut, we'd be like, did you do something to your hair? And they'd be like, yes.
It'd be like 3 weeks later.
I know, right? It'd be like, but
I mean, when I came into work with my hair dyed, how long did it take you to realize I had dyed my hair?
like 1 second.
Okay.
Well,
I
that's
mean, granted, that's because I do have darker hair, and I did go a lighter color, so
But,
I mean, that was pretty obvious.
but pretty much, besides that, she did everything, and hell, she even had that couple awesome songs. And, she really worked as a man. She walked like a man. She pretty much did everything to save her father, save China, took down the bad guy with no fucking problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, Mushu also shot a rocket at him, but that's a different concept.
Yeah.
Now.
We will do probably more of a deep dive of Mulan, because there is a direct to movie or direct to DVD movie that came out from Mulan 2. So we might just do like a video on both of those at the same time as well.
Yep.
I didn't care for Mulan 2 as much, but she did kind of show off some more of her strength in that one, as well. But Mulan is by far, she is my favorite Disney princess. And yes, she is considered a princess because she found favor with the royal family. And they, if they can make Elsa a Disney princess,
So she's a queen.
Mulan can definitely be a Disney princess. Disney says that she's a Disney princess, so I'm just gonna go off what Disney says. So yeah, she's a Disney princess. She found favor with the royal family, so yeah, she's a princess.
So she became a princess by technicality.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Basically, because the emperor was going to give her a high paying job, she was going to take that one guy is the one annoying guy.
The guy who
the guy that was taking all the notes. I can't remember.
He was the
his name.
assistant to Shang.
Shang.
Yes. Especially with the part where he's like, "There's a girl back home like any other. Only girl who loves him is his mother."
Yeah. So, but yeah, actually, in the Ballad of Mulan, she was gone for I think 12 years. Like the movie makes it seem like she was maybe only gone for like a year, if that.
Yep.
I don't even think the movie made it seem like that she wasn't even gone for very long. But in the Ballad of Mulan, she was gone for 12 years. And the only way that they found out that she was actually female at that point was the emperor was going to marry her, or wanted Mulan to marry his daughter, and then they found out that she was female. And at that point, they didn't do anything. They're just like, "Oh, okay, cool. You saved China. Thanks."
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and that pretty much happened, and that's it, guys. Hey, give us a like in the comments. If you got your favorite female anime hero that's kicks ass in the moment, put it down in the comments below.
Yeah, if there's anybody that we have forgotten, or if you think that there's anybody who we should have mentioned, like Mike said, leave it in the comments below. And we just want to get everybody's opinions. Now remember, we're trying to get up to 100 subscribers.
We're at 38.
So, just get your friends involved if your friends like this type of thing. Like, subscribe, share, all that junk.
Alright, what's next week's hint, Jill?
So next week's hint is stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet.
Oh boy. That's going to be fun for next week.
That's all going to be on Mike.
It was torture.
So anyways, we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.